Hello, everybody, and welcome. My name is Jorge, and this is another event from Build Your Beverage Empire. Today, we will talk about how to use contests in your beverage marketing strategy. How to use contests, all kinds of contests for retailers, for consumers, for distributors, sellers, online, offline, trips, giveaways, you name it. How to use for sales and distribution in your beverage marketing strategy. That's the topic for today. Who should be in the webinar? Beverage entrepreneurs, beverage executives, salespeople, people who handle PR for beverage companies, people involved in sampling events or other type of promotional events for beverage companies. All of them can beverage from this webinar. Even distributors and retailers can benefit from the webinar. Again, my name is Jorge Olson. A lot of you already know me, that you've been to my webinars, you read some of my books. I'm the author of Build Your Beverage Empire, The Unselfish Guide to Self-Promotion, and other books. I've been featured on and appear on television, on ABC, CBS, NBC, Fox, and other affiliates, on Wall Street Journal, USA Today, LA Times, Success Magazine, Entrepreneur Magazine, and many more. I started as a beverage distributor. I've owned my own brands. I've owned my own companies. I do industry analysis as well for institutional investors and private equity firms. And I still own my own brands and work with public and private companies to create brands, develop beverages, sell beverages, mentor executives, and more. Enough about me. Let's go into the agenda for today's topic. Why do you want to use contests in your beverage marketing strategy? How important are they? Why don't we hear a lot about contests? We hear a lot about everything else. I hear a lot about Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, and other strategies. Most of the core marketing are around television, radio. They are around social media, not about contests. And by the way, contests are more important, and we'll go into why. Who uses contests? Is it small companies, large companies, medium companies? Is it Coke, Pepsi, Budweiser, Miller, Vitamin Water, Rockstar Energy, Monster Energy? Who uses contests? Who do you target with those contests? Do you target the retailers, the stores, convenience stores, supermarkets? Do you target the consumer maybe? Or maybe distributors and wholesalers, or maybe managers of those companies? And we'll give you some examples of what other people are doing, what other companies are doing, what retailers want, and what they've told me in the past that they want, and some contests that I've done and that I participated in as well. Why use contests in your beverage marketing strategy? Very simple. They work. I didn't invent contests. They're not new. Every distributor that I, large, medium, small, has used contests and uses contests every day. When I have my distribution company, I use contests with my salespeople, with my warehouse managers, with everybody, and they always worked. And in my case, I told the salespeople, or asked the salespeople what they wanted for contests. And I had a route-based distribution system, so it was a one-tier distribution system where I had the product on board. I didn't have to deliver the next day. So I had 14 footers, 14 food trucks with product on board. The salespeople went on his or her route. They visited the stores, 20 stores per day. They visited the store, they delivered the product, or they went in and they sold product. Then they went back to the truck and they merchandised the product on the shelves or in the refrigerator door. So it's a one-step instead of a two-step or three-step delivery system, like you see with a lot of Budweiser and Miller Coors distributors. So here's a three-tier distribution system with the salespeople going in first, then you have the delivery, and then the merchandiser. And what we did was we did contests for sales, for team goals. We did contests for who sold the most. We did contests for new stores, different types of contests. And then we had sometimes money. Sometimes we had football tickets. We have the Chargers. My operation was in San Diego, California. We had the Chargers and the Padres there for baseball and football. So we often, and the Aztecs. I went to San Diego State, and we had the Aztecs. So we often did tickets or trips or events at those places with tailgating and everything. And people liked that a lot because it was an experience, not just a ticket. And of course, as an entrepreneur, as an executive, it allows you to bond. It allows employees to bond, to have better relationships with one another than just writing them a check for money. That's not an experience. Contests work. I've seen supermarkets do contests. I've seen convenience stores do contests. I've seen every single distributor that I visited does contests. Manufacturers do contests with their own employees and with consumers, distributors as well. All your competitors are using contests. If you're not using them, you should. And not every contest and not in every way, because you have a lot of competition in contests. So you cannot just copy or mimic what everybody else is doing. That's not going to work because these guys have some major budgets. Budweiser, if you want to go into large distributors, Budweiser and Miller Coors houses, you have the beer companies as your competitors. You do not want to compete with the beer houses because they have some major, beautiful competitions. They send their salespeople to Hawaii. They send their salespeople to Las Vegas all of the time. And I mean, these are great trips with the families. The other day, I saw one that was giving away a Harley Davidson, and it was there in the warehouse. The Harley Davidson was there so that everybody could see it. If you don't, and that's one house, one distributor. Imagine how many distributors they have. If you want to be in 10 cities and you want to give away 10 Harleys, that's a lot of money. So beer companies and beer distributors as well. Then you have every single non-alcoholic. They're doing contests. The problem is you have to compete with them as well. So you're competing with the beer companies, the big boys. You're competing with all of the non-alcoholic, flagship non-alcoholic product they have. Maybe it's an energy drink, maybe it's a tea, maybe it's a national product with a lot of money. You're competing with them. If they have any other alcoholic beverages, maybe they also sell Dos Equis or Tecate or wine or spirits. Maybe they have a specialty tequila. Remember, most of them have a liquor license now. You're competing with them as well. You're also competing with every distributor. So even if you're not in a big beer house, you're competing in a small distributor. You're competing with them as well because they also have their own contests for their own products. I had my own product and I had contests for my product. When other people wanted to come into contests, they were okay, but they couldn't keep up with my contest because it's in my best interest to sell my product. Every distributor uses them. Retailers use them as well. Brands use them with retailers, but retailers also use them internally. That's something important to know. Sometimes it's regional contests, sometimes it's national contests. We use every one of those channels for contests. Who to target? Who do you want to target with your beverage content? And by the way, we will talk and give specific examples of contests that I've seen so that you can get a better idea of how to incorporate them and then how to compete or what to do that makes it tough to compete. You can target beverage distributors. You can target any type of retailer. You can target any type of wholesaler. You can target any type of on-premise account. You can target everybody with your contest. And of course, this is the trade. This is for. These are some of the most popular beverage contests. Let's say that you have a product and you go to a distributor. Let's take a distributor as an example. You land a distributor, and I've done this many, many times, and I'll tell you the good, the bad, and the ugly about my example. You have a distributor. It's a good distributor, a big distributor. You're the biggest guy in town. So you're in AAA. You're in good hands. What do? Some examples is you can give commissions per account. If you tell the salespeople, you give a little bit about logistics. You would fly there in person, or your one of your senior staff would fly there. You would maybe take the general manager or the owner to lunch or dinner, speak with them, get to know them. Maybe you already know them. You already flew there. You would go early in the morning before everybody leaves. Make sure that you do it a day that nobody else is there. So you don't want the Budweiser guy there. You don't want, well, they're always there, but you don't want a contest that day. You want to be the only contest that day. Hopefully you'll be on contest that month. It's tough, but hopefully, because remember, everybody's doing contests. So maybe you're the only one that month. You meet with everybody in the morning before they leave on their route. So it's 6 o'clock sometimes earlier, depending on where they are. They introduce you and they say, we have a new contest. It's going to be a great contest. It's a great product. You give a little sales pitch to get everybody motivated. You talk about your best value proposition to all of the sales staff that's there before they go on their route. And then you have a contest. And it may be something like, hey, salespeople, you will make $2 per case. You will make $10 per account that you open, and then you have some giveaways, maybe some travel or a special event. So commissions per account can vary. I've done $10. I've done $20 per account. Remember that if the cost of acquisition of a store can be up to $300, $350, $20 is not a lot. The key is to open the store, number one, and then it's your job to keep the store. Make sure that your product stays in the store. $20 to open an account, it's not a lot. And if you already opened a few territories, you already know that because you already had to go out and open a lot of accounts from scratch. I've done $2 per case. You can go higher per sold case because if you do buy one, get like two, get one, they wouldn't get a commission on the free cases. So commission on the case of $2, let's say that you're giving $2, so if a sales guy sells 2 cases per account or 3 cases, you would give them $6 to $10 at $16. They're not going to take, that account's not going to take more than a couple of cases if your product is new. So 2 or 3 cases is pretty good for a traditional convenience store type of account, which is the majority of accounts in a route for a beverage distributor. I make it a point that you should drive with one of the salespeople so you don't just leave and go home. Either you or somebody else, 2 or 3 people, hopefully will stay with that distributor for a month or maybe a couple of weeks. And then you can do different types of gifts. You can do, whoever opens the most accounts gets a TV or something. And by the way, this is done a lot by the distributors. I mean by the manufacturers, by the big boys. Or give something away. It can be electronics. It can be something big, something small. It can be something per week or maybe a big one per month. I also carry a bunch of Starbucks and other restaurant cards, gift cards, and if I go in the truck with one of the sales guys, I give them a card, I take them to lunch, I buy lunch for them and whatever else, and give them a card just to show, but for showing me the road, showing me around. That's something you can do as well. Or you can even say, whoever sold the most today, I'm giving a gift certificate or something. Travel giveaways are bigger, but they can be a lot of fun. And this is where you give them a paid vacation, or you organize something. If you organize something, it's better because then you spend time with them on the trip. If not, it can be just a weekend in Hawaii or in Las Vegas, or Hawaii and Las Vegas seem to be the most popular over the last 10 years that I've seen. Special events, you can send them to concerts, you can send them to special parties, you can organize parties and invite them as VIPs. You can do all of these things with Distributor. This is an example for Distributor. And we'll touch on other examples, but this is an example for Distributor. Now, you have to be very creative because what I just mentioned is what's being done right now. This is what all of the other companies do. When you plan your top secret beverage contest and giveaway, you have to be creative. If you are trying to compete with billion companies with contests, you're going to lose. So you have to go and do something completely out of the box, and I'll tell you some of my favorites. What are on-premise contests? Well, these are contests with bars and restaurants, hotels. You have to do them with distributors. You have to do them with convenience, supermarkets, etc. Let me give you an example of an on-premise contest. This is one that I like very much. A spirits company did not have a lot of money. They launched a new spirit, and they had a total of $50,000 for their marketing budget for the year. So instead of spreading the money around, because they did have some distribution already, this was a new product, so they did have a little bit of distribution, and they had a little bit of a relationship with on-premise accounts and distributors. Not a lot, but some. They didn't want to spread the money into all of their territory. So what they did was they did a contest for a trip. Now, this was not any type of contest or any type of trip. They owned their own distillery, so it was a contest inviting them to go to their distillery. And this was in the middle of nowhere, so at first glance you would think this idea is really, really bad. You're taking everybody out of the boonies. There's nothing to do. There's nothing to see. It's not a real vacation. What are you doing? This is not a good idea. Well, it was a terrific, fabulous idea. Let me explain why. The target for this contest were bartenders. And what they did over in their out in the boonies distillery is they rented cabins. So they brought bartenders from all over the states, and they got to stay in cabins, do campfires, ride horses, do contests, have parties there, and meet people from all over the states. These are young people. These are 21 to, let's say, 32-year-olds. Some of them are students. Some of them do bartending full-time. But all of them liked to party. The contest was based on sales, so you had to have enough sales to qualify, and then once you qualified, you went into a raffle, and then the raffle, depending on the amount of bottles that you actually sold. So the more you sold, the more tickets you got in the raffle. For people who lived farther away, they gave away fewer prices because they had to fly them in, and for people that were closer, they gave more because it was cheaper to transport them. So they were always looking to save money. they tracked online, they tracked the results, and they published the results online every single week. So now it became a contest with everybody. All of these bartenders were going online to the website to see their ranking and see if they were going to qualify for the contest. Now, these are not people that they get contests all the time, like salespeople. So this idea was genius. Instead of competing head-to-head with all of these huge, huge liquor companies, they decided to go to the frontliners, the trenches with the bartenders, the people who tell you, no, don't take your vodka tonic with this one. That's what they went after. It worked. Sales doubled just by doing that contest, and they continued to double because they continued doing the contest every year. But what happened? No, the first year was even more than double, because what happens was this. They threw a fabulous party. And this was just a weekend. It wasn't even a whole week. It was a weekend, but it was a party weekend filled with activities, and it was incredible. So what happened was all of these bartenders came back, and they said, I will do whatever it takes, but I am going back next year. I am winning this contest again. And they told all of their bartender friends how great it was. So what do you think happened next year? Everybody wanted to win. So the sales went up tremendously. They had no competition. No one else was doing contests with bartenders. Everybody else was in contests with the distributor and the salespeople from the distributors. So it worked tremendously. The budget was $50,000, but this is their yearly national budget. If you go to 3 trade shows, you're going to spend that amount of money, and it doesn't guarantee anything. If you start doing trips, if you count airfare, hotel, everything, it's going to be much more than that. So that's an example of an incredible on-premise contest. And you can do contests with bars, with restaurants, with hotels, cruise ships. You can contest with waiters. A good example is for water and for wine. You do contests with the waiters, not with the bartenders. And what you do is you go, of course, and you train them. You can do, by the way, you cannot do a lot of these contests without being there. This is not a remote contest. You have to be there. Somebody has to be there explaining, telling them about it, exciting them about the contest and about the prize, not just the contest. But if you have wine or water, a good example is you go into a restaurant and you train the waiters. You show them your wine. You tell them about your wine, and you tell them that they're going to make money for every bottle they sell, and you teach them how. Maybe you place the wine in the table and you leave it there, or the water. And you, of course, the water is high-end water. It can cost $8 per bottle. And then once you get there, they already had if you're the waiter, you go there, they already had a chance to see it. Maybe you have a tabletop, or so they read about the wine, maybe some contest that the wine or winery won, or the history of the winery, or why this water is the best water. So they see it, they touch it, they read it. And when you go and you say, well, you're having a special on the wine. Why would they do that? Because they're getting a prize. And then you organize the price around that. You show them how to do it first, and then you tell them they're going to make money, or they're going to go on a vacation, or you're going to organize something in a contest. That's an example of on-premise. One of my friends did something like this recently, and what great about it is that they didn't sell wine before, because this was more of a fast food place, but they did have a beer and wine license, and they normally sell fish tacos and that type of food, a semi-fast food restaurant. So beer, you would think beer and other drinks, but not wine. Well, he wanted to sell wine, so what he did was he did a contest. The owner did a contest with the waiters. Whoever can sell the most bottles of wine. Now, this is by the bottle. This is not by the glass, so that's even tougher. Of course, white wine It's what sold the most. Everybody had to learn on their own to sell it. And the price was tickets to a concert. Now, this was the Pitch Mode, and this was this year. They came to San Diego, California, and he threw a tailgate party. So it was tickets. It was a sold-out concert plus tailgating with the owners and the other friends and some clients at the tailgate. It worked great. He got wine in, and he got people buying. He got waiters selling wine. That's another example of how to do it correctly, thinking out of the box. I mentioned some examples for distributors. This is for an energy drink company that we did a few years ago. We did contests with Budweiser distributors and Miller Coors distributors for this energy drink, and it was $2 per case. It was $20 per new account. The special, so you can calculate it in your costs as well. We did a buy two, get one free. This special was for the store, but also for the consumer. What that means is they don't get to keep the money. They have to pass the special over to the consumer. We did stickers, special stickers that said buy two, get one, and it was $99. These distributors, one had 12 salespeople, the other had 20, and most of them were between 10 and 20 salespeople. We saw all of the contests that they were doing, and we picked a date where nobody was doing contests, and we launched it there. We also did, at the same time, sampling events on location, and we did contests with the people sampling events. Those they were girls, and they worked for us directly. They didn't work for a third-party company. We did the promotions directly. We hired the girls, we paid them, we trained them, and it was a sales contest with them, so that they weren't there just sampling product; they were there selling product. And there was a dollar amount when they reached to certain energy drinks sold per store. So instead of just giving away product, they were trying to convince people to buy the product. Most of these were for C-stores, for convenience stores, and they were, most of them in California. A few years ago, a Circle K regional manager for Southern California told me of a contest they were doing, and they were doing it with laptops. And this was for managers qualified for the laptops, and then the employees qualified for the iPod. And it was a beverage contest, so can you imagine? They had barrel coolers, they had racks, they had posters, they had stickers. It was amazing. I loved this contest. You went to a store and you would think it was owned by this beverage. It was everywhere because they had buy-in from every single employee. Everybody wanted one, and then everybody could get one because there was a contest. First they started whoever sold the most, but when they saw what people were doing, they wanted to reward them, so they said, no, if you reach this much, you'll get one no matter what. A lot of them got there. So this is also a way that you can start a contest and then modify it when you see it's successful. This was very successful. Hey, it's a laptop, right? If they had kids going into school, high school, or maybe college and needed a laptop, they knew they could get one just by pushing the product. And then the employees, which are usually part-time, they said, hey, just by doing my job, putting some stickers, posters, and telling people about this drink, you're going to give me some free stuff, I'll do it. It worked. And by the way, again, it wasn't the contest itself a good idea. they targeted the right people. Nobody was doing contests with them. Nobody. Now, a good friend of mine that's a merchandising manager for a chain, they manage 30 convenience stores. He does contests with their employees all the time, and he educates his suppliers on the contest because they don't do it. So he educates them, and he says, "You want more sales? Do contests with my employees. They'll merchandise it. They'll make sure the package is there. They'll make sure you have your POS ready and up. You don't need to send anybody. Save your money. Just spend it in my employees. They'll make sure your product sells." He knows what motivates them, and he knows that nobody's doing contests with them. They're doing it with the salespeople. But if the salesperson has 20 companies that they represent or 20 products, and 20 products are doing contests with them, so they're not too worried. They have enough contests. But if only one or two are doing it with the convenience store, they're going to push one or two, not 20. That's the difference. That's the edge that you want. Now, all of this is for traditional distribution. We're going here over traditional, nothing direct yet. We're going to touch on direct to consumers, but all of this is trade. All of this is through convenience stores, supermarkets, pharmacies. There's a supermarket case study. Supermarket is not so easy because a lot of them are large chains and they will not allow you to do anything. You know, Costco, Walmart, they're not going to allow you to go in and do contests with them. Many times, not even Kroger and Safeway and Super Value, they're not going to allow you to do contests unless they're sponsored by them. Independent chains will, and there's some large and independent chains across the country. Over here from Texas to California, there's a lot of Mexican supermarket chains, and we do contests with them all the time. These are incredibly large supermarkets. If you've ever been to Southern Cal and you've been in one of these supermarkets, they can sell up to 20 times what a normal supermarket sells. They are big, they are beautiful, they are rich, and they will allow you to do contests, point of sale material. You can take the radio station there and do a party. You can do giveaways. You can do a lot of things. And these are very, very big. Now, let's think about it. You say, well, how many should I pay any attention to this niche? How many of them do I need or do I have? Well, if I just told you one can sell 10 times and you have 10 of them, just 10 of them, isn't it easier to do promotions in 10 than in 100? And you're going to get the same result. So they are maybe more important than other chains because of this, because you can concentrate your efforts, you can save and sell 10 times more. We've done contests with a lot of Mexican supermarkets. We did one specifically in LA. But remember, they're not just in LA. You can find these markets in all of Arizona, in all of California, in all over the U.S. But this is where the density is. Illinois is extremely big now. Texas, oh my God, the chains that they have there for carnicerias and supermarkets are incredible. This is a niche that not a lot of people exploit. It is an incredible niche. Look at Barcel numbers, Barcel and Bimbo numbers in the U.S. They grew exponentially. I think they're going to do $200 million just in Mexican accounts. Incredible. What we did was we did a concert ticket giveaway for a Mexican band with Mexican employees, supermarkets. Same thing happened as I just described. They were merchandising. They were doing everything because they wanted to go, but they also wanted to go with their buddies. So they wanted to make sure that everybody got tickets. At the end, the tickets were not even so expensive. So we ended up giving tickets to everybody because they did a phenomenal job. Some other things that you can do that we've done in the past, private screening of movies. And with a lot of this, you have to work with your sales reps from advertising companies. and here's a note of caution and some advice. When you buy, let's say, radio, I had a tremendous here in town. He's not here anymore. He got snatched as a national rep now because he was so good. And I was procuring advertising for a few brands, for a few beverage brands. And I was doing, clear channel communications. I was doing all of the basic ones for radio and for outdoor advertising. He represented not a national station, not a big station. So he came and he gave me a proposal, and I had 8 proposals at the time. The other proposals were, we're going to record your commercial, we're going to send some remotes on location, we're going to do some spots, we're going to do some mentions. If you do it once or twice, you think you're getting a deal, everybody gives you the same deal. He gave me what everybody else was giving me, but he gave me concert tickets. He gave me special private screenings for every movie that came out. He gave me backstage tickets. He gave me sports event tickets. And I told him, how can you get me all of this stuff? Nobody else is doing it. He says, you know what? Between us, we get this stuff for free. That's right, we get this stuff for free. The only thing that I'm doing is I'm using it as a tool to land your business, because you can use it as a tool to land more business and you pass it along. That's all I'm doing. You can pass it to your consumers or to your consumers and suppliers and stores, and that's what we did. So let's say a screening. How will you do it with the movie screening? He got me 20 tickets for a movie 1 week before. So this was a special screening. It was in a special theater. He got the whole theater. Now, he didn't buy all the tickets. He had a promotional event with the theater where he was advertising for free. So the theater was advertising for free, and they got to host free screening. Now, we got to hang our banners there. So the brand, the theater was branded with our product. So when you walked in, if you're the distributor, the retailer, or a consumer, you're going to see posters and banners and our promo girl standing there giving you popcorn and candy and some drinks. So they thought we were hosting the whole event. And what we did is we went to our best clients and we sold them the product and said, hey, because you bought the product, let me invite you to a private VIP screening of a movie. And then we did the same at some discos and bars and clubs where he got us in because they were bringing a DJ, so he, again, for free. So these are some examples of how you can work with contests and think completely out of the box. By the way, out-of-pocket expense for us for all of these contests, 0, because we were already spending the advertising dollars. So it was 0 out-of-pocket expense. Now, what we also did is we announced over the radio, and he included this for free. They announced over the radio that we were having sampling events at specific stores, and for sold-out events, we gave away tickets at those places. So people had to go in, buy a product, our product, of course, in the store. The store was happy because they went in and they bought the product, and then they came out with the receipt, and we did a raffle for tickets. We didn't have enough tickets for everybody. In one occasion, we had about 350 people show up, so we didn't have enough tickets, so we have to raffle them. Again, cost 0. We were doing the advertising anyway, and now we were linking it to contests. This is what I'm talking about. We have to do things that the billion-dollar companies are not doing. These are some of the most common questions that I get. Can we do social media contests? How can we use social media? Social media is in the news. Social media has a lot of buzz. Social media is in vogue. You can use social media, be very creative. and you can go to market nationally very, very fast. You have to have a lot of creativity to pull it off. What can you do? You can do contests for videos. Now, by the way, if you do not have national distribution, you have to tie in direct sales. We talked in the beginning that we were going to talk about not just the trade, but direct sales and sales to consumer. This is how you do it. If you already have accounts, then you do cross-merchandising. If you already have bars, restaurants, hotels, convenience stores, pharmacies, supermarkets, you do some cross-promotion where you send them to those locations. That's easy enough. Or you give prices, tickets, coupons, or you do a branded event where you send them over and you do something there on location. If you don't have that and you want to use contests as a platform to get consumers involved, this is a great medium. And what you do is you have to target consumers directly and make them buy your product directly or indirectly. Let's say that you do a contest using some of these like YouTube and Facebook as an example. What you would do is you do a contest for a video. You have to have my product in a video. Of course, now they have to buy your product. The product is not yet nationally in stores. They can buy it on your website. They record something, funny video, inspiring video, whatever you want, and then they upload it to your YouTube channel and you post it on Facebook. Now, chances are they will post it on Facebook for likes as well, both. And then you can do a contest. Whoever has the best ones win a trip. We're doing one, and we're planning it right now, where we're doing a trip to Las Vegas. The owners of the brand are two young guys, young bucks, and they go to Las Vegas often. Anyway, they already go, and this is how you think out of the box. They already go, they already spend the money, they already pay the hotel, they usually stay in a suite, so they already pay the suite. Now I told them, why don't you go and you take a couple of people with you who win a contest? How many people can you take? Well, they say 6. So how about you do it? You do that 3 people can win for 2. So then you have 6. Each one can take somebody else. And then if it's a success, then you can do it for 10 and then for more people. You rent the suite in different rooms so that the expense is not so high, so you don't have to do 3, 4 different rooms, which of course in Las Vegas you can get incredible deals. We go to trade shows and we can easily find rooms for $100 and something bucks in good hotels. So it's not a huge issue. The key here is you have to have buzz going. The videos have to be funny enough where people are finding them, rating them, sending them to their friends, and then deciding to do one of their own. 1, to participate in your contest, and 2, because it's cool or because it's funny or because they're having fun. So all of those things are important. You have to have those type of contests, but then it has to catch on fire. Otherwise, it's not going to work. What are you going to get from that? You're going to get sales, and that's what you're after. You're going to get people buying your product, number 1, for the contest, and then number 2, these people are going to send videos to more people, to their friends. Their friends are going to send to more people, and then if it's a good video, a fun video, it's going to get catch on fire on its own. Best case scenario, millions of people looking at it, thousands of people buying from your website. Worst case scenario, you get some niche super consumers that are going to love your product and are going to buy it every month, and they're going to tell everybody about it. It's win no matter what, content or your social media. And so that's not so bad. You're not paying for these videos, remember. And by the way, you would pay for these videos, but you're not. So it's an incredible contest that you can do here. You can ask your questions. Your questions do not have to be about content. They can be about beverage marketing. They can be about beverage sales, beverage distribution, beverage development, or whatever you want. You don't have to stay on topic. You can vary as much as you want. If you need anything from me or from us, you can always go to the website or call us, and we can help you with beverage sales, beverage distribution. We are the largest full-service beverage. We do marketing, sales, and distribution. We take beverage development projects, distributors, we call wholesalers. Everything that you can imagine within the beverage industry, that's what we do. We've been working at it for 10 years, and it's the same team that started with me, 4 years combined experience. When you call the office, you get a dedicated project manager that works with you throughout. You get mentoring, online project management, so you can track your project no matter what that is, beverage development, sales and distribution, developing a media kit, an online strategy, finding your perfect distributor and targeting them, calling your best 100 territories, etc. The way you ask your questions on these programs is with the chat. I opened the chat right now. It is moderated so that nobody sees your question. Let me type something so you can see where it is. You can write. We have webinars twice per week now. The majority of webinars are free. The majority of webinars are for information and education like this one is. The majority of webinars, they will be done once online. Some of them, maybe 20%, we put it as a video and we allow people to review it as a video. Not all of them, but because some of them are for our private clients. Our private clients do have access to every single video in mentoring, consulting, project management, or whatever. They have access to absolutely everything. Even if they want it on DVD or on CD, they get it. But we still make available everyone for free live or 20% on the recording. We put some of them on SlideShare as well. Without the voice, of course, they don't allow for voiceover. And a lot of this information will be on the second edition of Build Your Beverage Empire. In writing a second edition. Right now we have too much content. We have about 500 pages and we need to cut it down maybe to 350 tops. I don't want you to go over 350. It's too much information. And don't forget, we're coming up with Beverage Development Guide also, which is another book that's coming out soon. And we have questions starting to come in. Don't forget, you can write your question here and I'll answer it. We also have specialty webinars, and those we do charge for those, but those are for small niches. For example, we have one this month for institutional investors. So if you're an institutional investor, if you manage a fund, you can go into that one, but that's only for fund managers. I have a question here from Ken. How hard is it to get your beverage in Mexican supermarkets? It is easier than getting it into any other supermarket, especially if you speak Spanish or if you get somebody like us who speaks Spanish. Some of the buyers will not speak with you if you don't speak Spanish. We had an experience where we sent our rep in, this was in Texas, and our rep handled an entire city, so he went to the supermarket, to Mexican supermarkets where we knew some of the category managers. So he also delivered to every other store. So this wasn't his route. He went in there and they wouldn't see him. He called back, and national manager went in, and he told them, "Oh, by the way, the buyer spoke English. He just didn't want to see him if he didn't speak Spanish." So my national rep was a Mexican American, and then we had no trouble getting it in. Make sure that you have a way of transporting it in. Make sure that your distributor visits that account already. If you want to do pallet programs, you can do pallet programs. They will accept pallet programs. They will accept direct delivery as well. I've delivered truckloads of water to Mexican supermarkets. I've delivered pallets of energy drinks to Mexican supermarkets. So make sure that you can speak with the category buyer, and then have a delivery system, have a logistics system to get it in, either through your current distributor, or if you're selling direct, that they accept pallets and that your product will sell. Because these are very smart buyers. If you go in and you say, take some pallets, they're going to sell like crazy, they're going to take the pallets and they're going to tell you, I'm going to pay you when they sell like crazy. So if they don't sell, you're not going to get paid. So make sure that you know what you're doing there, and you only put in as much as you think you can sell. Remember something else. These Mexican supermarkets are Coke houses, because Coke is one of the largest. Mexico is one of the largest per capita consumers of Coke. It's not the first one. So Coca-Cola is a staple product in those supermarkets. It means that the distributor is a staple product in those supermarkets. It means that whatever they're delivering is going to get a better spot. And I say this because Coca-Cola delivers more than Coca-Cola. So if you're competing with a Coca-Cola product, you have to be very diligent in these markets, because they have pallet programs for Monster, pallet programs for Coke, pallet programs for any product that's distributed by Coca-Cola. So you have to be diligent again. You have to know your market. If you know that you're competing with them, you have to do something out of the box to get it in. Remember, if you don't have any questions, or you can't think of questions, you can always email us, call us, ask your questions in person. We always have our project managers in the office ready to speak with anybody who has either a new product, wants to sell a product, wants to have more information on contests or ideas for contests, or for sales and distribution, or for beverage development. And remember, whenever you need beverage development, sales and distribution, consulting, mentoring, or anything related to the beverage industry, give us a call. Go to the website, the one I typed here, liquidbrandsmanagement.com, for our schedule. We already have a brand new schedule for webinars. There are some amazing topics. I spend a lot of time on those topics, researching, writing, getting feedback from you and other entrepreneurs. You check them out, because this month will be the best month for webinars. It's like getting 2 or 3 years worth of information. It is that good. I spend an entire week, almost full time, if you count the hours. More than 40 hours I spend just writing webinars. They are very detailed. They are very good. And they cover things that we hadn't covered in a long, long time, like strategy. Like, are energy drinks dead? What is the category saying? Why do 99% of beverage companies fail? So we're covering some tough subjects, a lot of strategy, a lot of big picture, but also a lot of detail, like today. Today was not very big picture. Today was very specific. A niche behind beverage marketing, which is contests. So something behind beverage marketing, not just beverage marketing, go do this or that. No, we were very specific today, but we also have some big picture strategy webinars. There's no more questions for today. Today's an easy day. Sometimes we have 40 questions. Again, if you have more questions, if you can think of something, or if you want to ask it privately, go to liquidbrandsmanagement.com and ask your question there, or call the number, and we'll be very, very happy to help you. As always, I know you're very busy. I know your time is valuable, and it makes me very happy when you decide to spend it with me. I will see you next week on Tuesday. at 2 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. Thank you much.